Previously on the great world exhibition, we can't go on the Ferris wheel. We can't go to what looks like a palace in the background. We can't do anything fun at this fair because we're trying to solve a murder, and we're basically trying to save Doc Brown from going to the gallows.
One exploded.
So I was like, oh my god, we got to do something. I didn't kill anybody. And then it turns out he's best friends with the vampire. It's like, Doc Brown, how did you meet a vampire in your time? I have no idea. We met in college. Stuff like that. So, for me, Sylph, and Mooney, we're going to continue because last time we were on our way to a wax museum. And we were not able to complete the entire chapter because it was our 2-hour limit. So, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go to a famous wax museum. Oh, hi, sir. Still it there with your fish and chips, huh?
Hi, Greg, son.
Greg's son. I'm just filling in for him.
He's trying to do the oh hi Mark thing.
Oh, hi, Mark. And here we go.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
What is this place? Look at all the terrifying scenes, but why are the people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight.
Wait a minute, is that the lady who was rumored to kill people and like bathe in their blood to be young?
Yes. These are all
They're all
based...
wax. Huh? Oh, sorry.
No. I was
They're all wax. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, all these waxes are based off of infamous serial killers.
Especially one. Is there one based on Psycho?
Not that one. That was like Psycho
Serial
came out.
killers at the time.
Yeah,
Oh.
like Jack the Ripper and everything.
And Elizabeth Bathory?
I don't
Oh, her
know
first
if
name
that
was
her
Elizabeth.
Yeah, something
I
like
thought
that.
it was Margaret Thatcher.
Ooh, that's a burn right there. Zing! Mooney with the killers.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked?
Wax models? Ah!
Wax models. Yummy, yummy.
Oh, Sylph with the wiggles, man.
I read about dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called adipocuri.
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Bruno. You're scaring me. Anyway,
Blah.
Damn it! I was trying to read that. What now?
That was an auto scroll.
Damn.
It was like, nope, I'm going to scream. I don't care what you say, because no scientific facts are going to prevent me from thinking these wax models are going to kill me.
Damn, bro. What's
Guys,
now?
imagine. Sorry. I'm gonna say, imagine this takes place in like a night in the museum type area.
Oh my god. Matt, oh god, it's like nighttime and he's the guard at night. Ugh.
Oh god damn it. That's some Five Nights at Freddy's shit right here.
I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
the exhibits here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them!
Oh!
There's no way anybody can make models of people that are this realistic. And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait.
He is so sus right now.
Do 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 do.
What is it?
Oh, no, oh no. I must be seeing things. Oh, and apparently there's a hand that's sticking out of the curtain. It's the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really?
He is world's famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know. But look, Bruno. You can kick this Harley and he doesn't move a muscle.
It's time to kick. It's time to kick the Holmes. Come here, Holmes.
That's true.
You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait.
What?
What the fuck?
It just moved, I'm sure, and not just a little bit either.
Really? Did it?
And look closely. There are
It must be
beads of
him.
there are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing. My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a matter, as if you've been seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? I'm not Kick. Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me.
Wait, where did she kick him?
Right in the crotch.
Bruno has something But Bruno has something he needs to ask you.
Let my McBalls recover first.
Not like you're gonna use them.
Oh damn! What
No.
a sick burn!
No, that's true. I have no desire for it really. My work is the only
The
thing
Ace
I
and
love.
Ace detective.
Yes, the Ace and Ace detective. That's right. That's right. Ah, a question.
And I thought you'd probably be getting a ball too. So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Hallie, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
He could know something, it's true, about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck, I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it's related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now, I must return to my work. What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit?
Oh.
It was either this or show off my muscles, which I'm not going to do. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I learnt. It took me 4 hours. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Doc Brown, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zeek such a different person.
I was sure that you'd know, Hurley.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot, and that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the unavoidable... Greetings?
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
She's gorgeous.
hello. Where did she appear from? And what's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious?
I hope you are appreciating my museum.
Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this... Not again!
My apologies. I am Esmeralda Testspells. This is my museum of waxwork.
What? You're the Madame to Spells?
Bien, sir?
I think so.
Bien, though only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I'm a madame in name only. It adds a certain
Je ne sais quoi.
je ne sais quoi.
I know, I happen to know a little bit of French. Right.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather, one waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Sholmes then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle.
Well, I was kicked in the balls.
Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble.
Ah!
She sounds deadly serious.
That's a
Of
problem.
course, my dear.
How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but...
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
Haven't we got enough on our plate already? She looks like the Dark Magician Girl a little bit.
Yeah, she does.
She does only, or like I thought it was more like a Magician's Valkyria or the Gaga Magician Girl.
Yes, those are pretty
Oh
close.
gosh, I gotta say, like, hair color, the way, like, one eye's covered in, like, the red. The eye's red, right?
It looks kind of like reddish brown.
Reddish
Brown.
brown. That reminds
looks
me
more-
of this character that I made.
Ooh, coincidence.
It's like a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Especially since that's a redesign of a character from years ago.
Sounds
man.
like something like we'd probably make it like a pit crew or something.
Yeah,
That
I was gonna say maybe that could be an inspiration for a future character. I wonder, could I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
I'm just
Yes, sir,
curious.
sorry.
Is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Like things coming alive at night?
Hold on, it's flickering.
Mine's too.
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned to me a little... Oh, he's disappeared. A wax model's a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Ah! There you are!
There he is. The exhibit again. When you should be working. Do you wish to be melted down?
She just chose violence.
My
Every
dear.
morning I choose violence.
With hot wax. Believe it or not, it was very Ripley. My dear Madame Two Spells, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your curd problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
I ever not.
Because we don't need newspaper headlines that say, Great Detective gets waxed on, waxed off. She's turned
I
as
didn't know
whi-
she'd be into that kind of stuff, though.
She's turned as white as a sheet, and she also made false teeth. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though, please be aware that I insist upon payment in advance. Even your
Frosty
dog
ain't having
agrees.
it.
Even your dog agrees. By the way, I'm getting a dog myself. We haven't met her yet, but she's hopefully going to be coming home soon. We're still trying to think of a name for her, but we just can't figure one out yet. So it's probably going to be she's a cross between a poodle and a lab or something. I don't know the actual name of it.
A blue poodle?
Maybe, I don't know. I'll probably find out when my folks go to meet her. They were supposed to do it today, but the owner's kid threw up at school, so they're like, "Oh, we have to cancel."
Ooh.
It's like, ugh, bad timing. Yeah, so I don't know. We still have to name her. So I mean, she already has a name, but we want to name her something different.
As a temporary name, and then I don't know why, but I'm feeling in the name Cake.
Cake.
And I'm also thinking of Cake the dog's Girl 63 version was a cat, so
Oh.
Oh, you're thinking of Adventure Time.
yeah.
Well, Cake was female and a cat, and the male dog one.
No,
was
I'm just
Jake.
weird. I just thought it was cute because like animals with food names are really adorable.
It's probably gonna be up to me to name her because my folks can't decide.
No, I know.
And I'm just gonna be like, what do I name her? What do I come up with? And then it's just gonna be like, ooh.
Maybe you can. Maybe a
Take
good
all
idea.
the time
Maybe
you
you
need to. Because like,
Yeah.
it took me I think a week to give Elliot his name, and
Mm-hmm.
got like a full fancy name.
Well, and it's like me with my cat Cash. We were originally gonna call him Achilles, but because of because he has that like scar on his foot, on his iron paw and all that from when he had his little injury. We were gonna call him Achilles, but he got stuck with the name Cash, and we just used it.
Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is the Two Spells special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
Absolute none. There is nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madame. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain?
We...
I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens.
Are you threatening me? My accent changed.
Wait a minute. You're not really French.
Wait. Did it sound like Spanish or Italian?
Yes, very well. I'll draw back the curtains, but only a
Succomb.
Subcon. No, that dog. What?
I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Two Spells special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however, is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor.
Wait a minute! He looks familiar!
Well then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman, not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they're always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit.
Why? Why would you say that?
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. She looks as pale as candle wax.
I don't understand.
So, Madame Two Spells, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
The game is a foot.
It is a
fuckery
foot.
a foot, guys.
Oh, I fucked my foot. Thank you, Iris, for fucking my foot.
I was gonna say, you'd think with like the thing that was standing out, you could have said it was a hand away.
We're not that clever here.
Oh.
To begin with, we must ask ourselves, what exactly is afoot here in this museum? The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds.
That is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Two Spells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer the centerpiece of your special exhibit for the sum of 200 pounds.
No.
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, Madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow is, of course, the 200 pounds. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting? I gotta do a small BRB to clean up my plate.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
be right back.
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief, such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetuated.
Perpetrated.
Yes. This young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What
are
are
you
you talking about? I'm sorry.
Sorry. You could have just told us you were back.
I'm
I know, I just
back.
got back.
I just sat down at this precise moment, and as I was sitting down, I screamed the line. The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards.
What?
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with the particularly unsightly visage. Or visage, however you want to pronounce it. Let's call the whole thing off. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
But you?
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag.
It's-
Threepence. A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame?
I do not.
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. Thus concludes Hairlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. She's ready to throw that.
She's ready to throw hands, dude.
Looks like your fate is sealed within my hands.
I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley. You have. And you've obviously upset Steer's young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
Yes, but my temper, it runs hotter. Oh crap, I almost choked on a marshmallow peep.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
is
my...
it like a little chick or is it a bunny?
Little chick, I had, You know how you're not supposed to talk with food in your mouth?
Yes.
A little piece of peep almost went down the wrong hole.
Okay, that sounded so wrong, Sylph. And
Why
yes,
would
welcome
you
to the
breathe
Spaghetti
out of-
Bloody.
You know, it's great you're eating marshmallows right now. I'm such a big fan of marshmallows. We have those mini marshmallows. We don't call them peeps, though, because that's copyrighted.
Your birthday cake flavored.
I even have one. I bought those marshmallows with the chocolate inside of it. All we need now is a thing of melonade.
Oh, so much melonade. If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. Emily is my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman, Automole. Sorry. It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Automole.
So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed, it is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective. So it is quite a lot, then.
Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down.
That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so... I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions.
Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tuspels vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tuspels, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
You know, I'll be surprised if we haven't had any vents in here yet.
We didn't have any what?
Vents. Oh god. Oh god damn. So many Among Us jokes here.
Oh. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds.
That is all my own money.
So
Hi,
what does
Frosty.
this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks for 200 pounds.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if it's anything else that could explain it.
I'm gonna go do a quick BRB. I gotta go check on laundry.
Okay. Watch that.
Oh,
watch-
but before I leave, go.
Okay.
What's that note doing? What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh, yes. Let's see. Dear Madame Tuspels, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October. What?
What?
This is... It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yeah, it's a ransom note.
Exactly.
Alright, now I can do that BRB.
Alright. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it.
The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have.
In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, Madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
Back!
Well, just in time.
We could just ask him when he comes round.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Wait, he's just passed out? I thought
Yes,
he was dead.
You're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
No, he was passed out.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tuspels trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around.
cash are you here, buddy?
This is just Madame Tuspel's right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well. Look.
Oh no, she's the woman with 2 left hands.
Oh no.
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff, too.
Oh my god, is this like based off the guy with the hangman stand?
Yes, centerfold.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Oh, why am I thinking about that now?
In fact, it's really hard. That's what she... Damn it.
Is she touching the hand?
Yes.
Just imagine this lady's just standing there, and like all of a sudden this little girl walks up and grabs your hand.
You mean
Oh god.
it's made of wax? What dealt the man such a shocking blow is, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow.
Oh, how could you?
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape, it ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that in fact it's a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
So you mean that arm?
Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms.
So I had. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say. I was gonna make a joke, like, so I, as you say, kept the pimp hand strong with this wax. I am afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
He's got the pimp hand.
You
Gotta keep your
confront-
pimp hand strong.
You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. On the result, the scene we see before us, he was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that closely is guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly.
The hand, ain't it?
Oh.
The hand.
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth, of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds, a waxwork mortal. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with the particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's very low price though. Threepence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garadeb's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another one crops up.
Hey, look, a Twitch on Twitch. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most unrealistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Two Spells?
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place.
He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
So, it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
How much is 3 pence in, like, our currency?
Let's look that up.
gonna find it here, but like. Oh, okay. According to Ben's search, 3 equals 0.04 US dollars, so like 4 cents.
Damn.
Think we know who we need to keep away from this. All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I not take it lightly. Anyway, the great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted.
Yes, tragically it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well.
To my cat.
But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now, when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that the waxwork was missing from this special exhibit here.
It is your most display, so that's why the curtains were closed.
And I found the ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose.
Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar in society than any other, I would say. The Professor.
Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry? You know, the circle of life. Have you not watched Lion King?
I was just about to say! The circle of life.
Circle of life, circle of death, so you know, it's the circle. The Professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. It was like an AC/DC concert, except worse. 10
Ooh,
years ago.
burn.
If you watch the concert of theirs lately, oh, they're so terrible. Yes,
Are
I
they
think.
the same people who called people? Are they the same like people who are like, okay, Snowflake, you're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance? Or that's someone else?
I
Similar
I don't
age demographic.
I don't think that was them. It's the first time I've never heard of. They're an Australian band, so they would never do anything like that.
Oh.
Yes, at exactly the time that Barack Van Zieks graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying...
So, the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life?
As you surmised, it was the professor case. Who was this professor, then?
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, a man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zieks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why is it that the professor earned such infamy? It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Ah, wait, of course! What Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh gosh!
It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zieks.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I don't believe it. Van Zieks?
Is that like his old man?
I'm sure you could piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barack pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today.
Taking down criminals because he couldn't take down the guy who took his brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad.
I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit.
I am afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well.
Oh yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Outfit was really cute.
Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barack. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could have happened. Tomorrow, the court will decide. Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me he could prove it.
Oh, he's okay. He's by your thumb at the prosecutor.
I'm biting my thumbs. I'm a nail
Oh,
biter,
gosh.
damn it.
Well, they say the
Shakespeare
people that
reference.
often bite. I mean, they say scientific. I think they said the people that bite their nails are often shown to have higher intelligence, but
Well, I am a
I was going for
harebrained.
like the Romeo and Juliet thing. Oh, you bite your thumb. Yes, I bite my
Oh.
thumb, but not at you, sir.
I'm trying to forget that play. It's hard to, though.
Oh.
Here comes the kiss. It's the one thing from Hey Arnold. That was like one of the episodes. It was like that was the only thing they talked about in that whole play. It was like, ooh, what's gonna happen?
oh boy.
I must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barack, are you really... What? Never mind. I know that you have my best interest at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Of course. I fully understand. Thank you, Barack.
This is so wholesome, dude.
Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court.
Dude, this is just.
This is amazing.
Wholesome.
Like, just imagine them in just university, like studying, and like professor there, before he's a professor, is just excitedly talking about all his like experiments and theories and stuff, and you just have Barack there, just chalice of wine, just like listening and maybe asking questions occasionally. That's like really wholesome.
I know, right?
A little too wholesome for this.
Well, then again, the storytelling in the Ace Attorney series got much better as time went on, and they really put a lot of effort into these character development. And like I was saying, like last stream, this is considered one of the greatest cases in all of the franchise, like top 5. I'll even go as far as
Like,
to say
in
top
all
3. I'll say.
seriousness, would love if they did like a prequel, like anime special, just showing like these characters.
Oh,
It's like,
they'll probably do an anime of this, because this is way too good to pass up for an anime. It would probably
I
be
know,
more
right?
this would be more dramatic in the anime, I would assume. But I mean, they haven't even done 4 through 6 yet of the anime for the regular games. But the way I'm looking at, like I was saying, like this is considered like top 3 best cases of like the whole franchise. I mean, we haven't even seen like the more breakdown of the storytelling yet. I mean, once we get to the very end, it's gonna be like, holy fuck, this was like one of a kick-ass case. Like I remember playing this when like it came out in 2017, and I played the English translated version, because at the time they didn't have a Switch version and they didn't release it to the States, so you can only get fan translated. But back then, I mean, this case was such up and down, like so many emotions. I will say I did cry at the end, like and I'm not talking like tear just streaming down my face. I mean like a faucet went on, like because it was just so emotional.
gosh, like this makes me cry. Like the Mystery Dungeon game did. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when you get, and it sucks. We may have to do Skype for the very end though, because you have to hear it, because they do voice acting at the very end of it. So it would be foolish of me to have to say, hey, you're gonna have to watch it on the stream while the audio's going on, but because I can't share the audio for some reason, because it's not on Google Chrome, because I'm doing the screen share through this. But if I put it on, it would just echo, and we don't want the echo. But I will say, like, it's like this. It's like the previous case. There's going to be a trial, then there's going to be another investigation, then there's going to be a trial again. So it goes back to that old Ace Attorney formula that we all know and love. But God, there's a lot of, and there's more characters that are going to be introduced, and some of them are just funny, and some of them are just very shitty in terms of like who they are as people. and there you just want to be like, I want to rip their, ah, but God, and to think there's like 2 more cases after this that are just as good, if not better. So you think this case is good? The next ones after this are that are just as amazing. Like, this is some great storytelling that they've done, and I assume, like, if they ever make an Ace Attorney 7, they have to top this, because if they don't, it's going to be a disappointment. Like, it made me want a 3rd game for this series, but they're not doing a 3rd game. Which is I think is wise, because I mean, you can't.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What?
On a high note instead of like.
Oh yeah, because they
lose like momentum.
Yeah, they really end on a high note with this game, and it's like, yeah, anything that they make after this is just not going to top it. It's kind of like making Godfather Part 3. Like, everyone loved 2; they thought it was better than 1. Like the first one, and the first one was already considered like the best movie ever made, and then 2 came along and said, oh my God, the best movie ever made just got topped by the sequel. And then the 3rd one came out like 20 years later, and everyone's like, this didn't need to be made. This just didn't need to be made. So yeah, so next time around, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, with like one of the Ace Attorney games, like, you wrapped it up really well, and then all of a sudden there's a bonus like case, and it's like, okay, you just tried to stitch this in here, and it's one of the longest ones, and it's just pain to get through.
Yeah,
like, I remember like, I'm just reading this, and just when you're like tired and you have your like head resting on your hands, and you're just like,
yes, you're wondering, like, when is this gonna end?
You feel like you're sludging through mud, and just everything's uncomfortable, and just, yeah, that's how it felt.
Well, thankfully 4 through 6 didn't repeat that mistake. If anything, they make sure there's a lot of to be continueds in between. Which I don't think you've played 4 through 6 yet, so it would be a surprise once we get to those. But they haven't put those on the Switch yet, so I can't really say that we're gonna get to them, because they haven't been released yet. And I'm like, you got the first trilogy, now you got to do the second trilogy, and you got to do the Edgeworth games too, because the Edgeworth games are just as good, because the writing on those games is spectacular. Not as good as this game.
The game where they have like Missile is a special cameo count too, or no?
I believe Missile does play a role in the Edgeworth games.
That one too, but I mean, there's like same people made a game like this puzzle game, or like,
oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't think
one
it
of
ever
the
got
characters
featured.
that you get to play as is Missile, and I'm like, oh wow, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't remember that actually, because I haven't seen it. Maybe it was like an iOS game or something.
I think it was on the DS too.
If it was, I never heard of it.
I'm gonna look this up now.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Okay, so next time around, we're gonna get into the trial. We're gonna find out. We're gonna meet some interesting characters. I'll say that much.
I was on the DS. It was Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Okay. Oh, and another game that they have to release is the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright crossover for the Switch, because that one was, I'll say, that was a really good game. But yeah, anyway, next time around, we're going to get into the trial. We're going to try to get Professor Hairbrain out of jail, and hopefully Barack will go a little easy on us, because he's prosecuting his own friend. I'm sure he doesn't want to have him locked up. But I will introduce the alternate costumes, because we'll get to see Renosuke's costume, and also Herlock has an alternate costume as well. So you'll get to see both of those hopefully soon.
I get my hat.
And yes, you will get your hat, but I cannot tell you when the hat will emerge. I can't tell you that yet. So, because I'm not spoiling anything. But you will see the hat eventually. So in the meantime, we'll catch you all next time around. Hopefully Circus will be back with us to see fish and chips again. And well, we'll catch you all next week for another exciting adventure of the Great Ace Attorney. Until then, good night or good morning or whatever time you're watching this, and then enjoy the rest of your week. Bye, everyone.